My son Mark is actually farming. I'm going to let him tell you some of the stories about it. But I want to introduce him in this way of this is a young man trying to get started farming. There's talk of probably upwards of 50 inches of rain in this area. It's the blackest dirt I've ever seen in my life. So it soaks in water, and there was times we drove down here planning to spray and had to come back because it rained overnight. I mean 2 or 3 inches, and there was no way to spray it. Instead of drought, which is the word I can say a whole lot easier than drown, because I'm so much used to that, we run into a problem with too much water down here. Peanuts on the left of the table there came out of this field. They're not certainly as large as vines, but due to the stress that's been here, I'm going to let Mark talk to you a little bit about his experience of planting this crop and tending to it to this point. Hopefully they'll do all right, but we'll see. I don't want to. It's the most peanuts I've ever had in one spot. That's 25 acres out there, so we'll see what it does. Our mission here is what it's always been. That's to deliver good quality U.S. peanuts to the Shelley market. There's 3 different ways we do that. And as you can see on my little PowerPoint here, first of all, we want to produce quality seed for quality producers. Maybe a little homer, but I feel like we have some of the best producers here in equipment as anywhere. They're knowledgeable, they go to the farm shows, they read the magazines.
What we're doing. In 1981 was a landmark year for us. We started buying peanuts from McCleskey Mills. Tom Chandler came to see us and said he was looking for a buying point, but he wanted a long-term relationship. So I told Jerry this year, that's from 81 to now, it's a pretty long time, but we still like it. And it was a big deal for us to team up with McCleskey Mills in 1981.
I manage the southeast part of the United States for birdsong, which is from Arkansas to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and down here in Florida. Then I spent some time down here helping to manage this farm. We now farm about 8,000 acres. About half of that, most years, peanuts, and half of that is corn. We rotate corn and peanuts 1 to 1, and then sometimes we substitute carrots in as a winter crop for that. We also That's why I got the word out to your parents on 24/7. It's pretty much the quickest way to do it and the most cost effective. Coming out of these trailers, going up through the peanuts track.
I got you. You can go ahead and pull off.
Something like that.
And we're a neutral third-party inspection. You have the farmer that is the seller. You have whoever the buyer is, whatever company that is. And so what we do is we come in as a third party. We draw samples as you saw outside. We divide it down, and we're going to divide it down to where we get 2 parts. We want a minimum of 2 1,500 gram samples as a minimum.